All right. Hello, everybody. It's Michele Maher here, and I'm here today with Amanda Gobatto. Thank
Hello.
you, Amanda, for giving me your time today to talk about these challenging times that we're going through and how to keep a positive mindset and get creative in your business. Looking forward to how to, pivot your business, as it were, going forward to
Thank you for
whatever new
having me.
space we're going to be in.
Yeah, who knows, right?
Yes, yes. Oh, thank you for your time. So, if you want to just give everybody an idea of who you are and what you are all about.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Amanda Gobatto, and I live in Newmarket, Ontario. I work from home. I always have worked from home, so that's a positive in the sense that I haven't had to shift too much in that regard, but we'll dive into that more in a little bit. My business is called Digital Girl Consulting, and so my specialty is I work as a business consultant and strategist, as well as a digital mentor, and I work with business owners um, who are looking to have an effective presence that really truly helps them connect with the audience that they're looking to attract, and what that looks like and how to do it, and then all of the logistical and digital things that go along with all of that as well. And I do it through one-on-one consulting and workshops and training, as well as I have run a social media think tank every month where we gather together as business owners and really strategize and put our heads together for creative ideas.
All
that's
right.
that's kind of me business wise in a nutshell. I have two kids, so they're at home as well, and my husband's at home now too, working from home. um, and yeah, I also have my parents who are needing a lot of support as well right now, so juggling lots of nice balls in the air.
Right. Yes, yes. And as I was saying to you before we got online here, that I really found myself at the beginning of this. It all started with the vendor events that I had already booked being postponed. One, first one, then another one, then another one,
Yeah.
and then everything was just shifting and changing so rapidly,
Mm-hmm.
and becoming so unknown, and such a loss of control, that I really found myself getting into that whole fear mode,
Mm-hmm.
and also the fear and panic seemed to be so contagious that I ran out to Costco the next day to stock up, and
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing. And it really feels like March was the not March, really, the last 2 weeks of March was like
Mm-hmm.
at least 6 months long. It kind of felt like, because everything changed so much.
Yes.
Each time something changed, it was like maybe an hour later, but yet it felt like a day, because
Yeah.
just your emotions and everything like that. So I think we've initially I also felt that when they said school would be out till April 6th, that kind of was the day that we were kind of going for. It was going to be
Mm-hmm.
March break, so everybody was kind of already ready for that, if
That's
the
right.
kids were going to be home. And then it was now the 2 weeks, so everyone thought, okay, but obviously that's changed since, and it just continues to do so.
Yes.
And now we've gone into the point of getting into some sort of a new routine, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was your experience like going through the initial, you know.
Yeah, so it's really and so much has changed since March, right? So it's even
Yes,
hard
it
for me to
has.
go think back and think, okay, what was I thinking and feeling in that time? But um so yes, I had the kids. We weren't planning on going away anywhere, thank goodness. So there wasn't that disappointment to deal with. It was just kind of navigating the unknown of, oh wow, we have 2 extra weeks here, and what's that going to look like?
Yeah.
Um, for me, the first initial kind of shock, if you will, was dealing with the kids and helping them navigate that, helping my husband transition home. He worked from home at work during March break, and then he was sent home. So that transition and so I'm now up in our bedroom and he's down in my office, and that was a bit of a transition to go through. Business wise, I think part of the reason why I don't remember the last 2 weeks in March is because so many people in business were scrambling, not knowing what to do and wanting to quickly put things together using the online space, but not knowing how. So I was fielding a lot of phone calls, a lot of messages, a lot of texts, and just helping as many people as I possibly could,
Right.
you know, do quick adjustments to their website or announcements on their social media pages or whatever, and helping them even brainstorm as to what on earth they're going to say. How are they going to pivot or shift, or what are they going to put out there when we don't even know what's happening? So that was kind of my first 2 weeks, and it literally is a complete blur. I don't remember. I don't remember a whole lot from it, to be perfectly honest.
Right. Right.
I know I was exhausted and I slept a lot. So I actually lost some of my routine. I'm sure you've heard me say that I am an early riser and I'm very passionate about my morning routine. But for those first few weeks, I lost it because I was honoring my sleep more, because I needed it. Emotionally and mentally and physically, I just needed it. So I listened to my body, and I was sleeping until 7, 8, whole new me.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that initial couple of weeks, I did feel a bit of a slowdown or a bit of a pause. You know, people were still shifting and pivoting and navigating and all the things, but I did sense the energy generally was a bit of a slowdown. So I kind of took a breath and I went, okay, now what? How is this affecting me? What am I going to be doing? So I slowly started getting back into my routine. Of, you know, setting an alarm and starting my day early and making sure that I was taking care of myself and my needs first in the morning, so that I could set myself up to be patient with the family and the kids and all the things, and to be able to help as many people as I could in business as well.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I think that first 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, for a lot of people, you know, at least for that first week, for sure, people were just off. It's so much of a shock to everybody. And I think people were totally out of the routine as well. Like, well, obviously out of the old routine, but just so many things out of routine, and then slowly getting back into some sort of a new routine, or you know, for you, somebody like yourself, maybe your standard routine, because you were already working from home. But then you've got all this you have to navigate,
other people
and deal
in the
with
house.
the other people. Exactly, and sharing the space with other people. And then of course after that, then the schooling came into play. Because initially that wasn't, you know, those other 2 weeks were just nothing, because they had to come up with something.
That's right. So having to help the kids get into their own school routine and figuring out what that looks like, supporting them with that, and figuring out how does that blend with my day. So I ended up having to create a bit of a system for me and the kids, in that I am working in my bedroom, and I'm grateful that I have a door. So the door is our system. I have open wide. That means they can obviously come walk right in. And if I'm typing, I do ask that they wait for me to finish my sentence, because I lose my train of thought really easily. And then I forget where I was, and it takes me 10 minutes to get back on track. If the door is closed to the touch, it means that I am busy working, but certainly they can come in if they do need some support, help with schoolwork, help with something. And if the door is closed tight, like it is right now, it means I'm in some type of a meeting where I really don't want to be interrupted unless there is a true major emergency. But what I have noticed is that so many people are so much more flexible and understanding, knowing that we have other humans in the house now, and we do have to be somewhat flexible. There are going to be interruptions sometimes, and it's out of our control sometimes, right? So.
Right, exactly. I did see something funny on somebody shared, must have been on social media, and it was BBC News, and he was doing the newscast from home, and then first one little kid runs in, and the other one runs in, and then the mother's running after trying to stop the kid.
Oh my gosh. I am grateful that my kids are at an age where, you know, they can be self-sufficient for a period of time. And that, you know, because when they are really, really little, that's a lot harder to explain to them that, mommy's busy and you you can't come running in the background and I can't just stop and give you my full attention, right? So
Right.
people that are navigating life, business at home, whatever, with younger kids, my goodness, that's a whole new different adjustment for sure.
It is. Yes, it is. And then when you have teenagers, again, it's another story too. Like my daughter who is in grade 11, and it was hard at first. And I'm sure it, I'm sure it still is, but not being able to see your friends
Oh yeah.
at that age. And I just can't imagine going through that, something like this, because, we've never gone through anything like this, and it's hard enough for us, as it were. So yeah, so just navigating that, everybody being in the same space, and it's there's challenges with that, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but
for
I guess
sure. The other piece is the whole food situation. Right? So it's, making the lunch, because usually I do stop and I eat, and I'll sometimes take a break and sometimes not. But when you're on your own, you don't have to navigate other people's meals. So now all of a sudden it's like, okay, I have to stop at lunch and figure out the meals and help them with that. And my husband's working in the kitchen, which is where my usual office is. And so we have to work around his schedule as well. And so I think what it's really allowed me to do is get a lot more organized. Not that I was disorganized before, because I would like to think I'm a pretty organized person, but with regards to meals anyways, there's a lot more organization, just because I'm not also grocery shopping as often. And so making
so
plans
you have
for
to
those
plan
meals.
it all, and
Yep.
yeah, that's something actually I'm feeling getting a bit tired of. Getting a bit like, dealing with everybody having to eat, and it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, and it's every single day.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. And we had our dishwasher break too, so that was fun. So then again, third world problem. I'm grateful that we have a dishwasher, but just trying to, do all of those dishes, then 3 meals times 4 people. I was spending at least an hour and a half of my time extra cleaning the kitchen on top of everything too. So then that was an added thing. So it's just usually if 1 or 2 things happen, you can kind of roll with the punches, go with the flow.
yes.
But then when you're navigating this whole other level of lack of routine and nothing, you don't know what to expect. It just makes it a lot harder to navigate those things that get thrown at you.
Right. Yeah. That's totally true. And that's why, as I was having in some other conversations, we really have to be kind to ourselves and not judge ourselves,
Oh my gosh,
because
yes.
we're always so hard on ourselves. But there's a lot of emotions that are going through ourselves right now, and everybody, and how are how are the kids dealing with this, and for your spouse, normally didn't work from home, right? So it's a totally different shift for
and some
for
people
him as well. And
they're transitioning easier than others, right? And
yes,
I think another point too is just to really respect how other people are, what their needs are, and how they're handling things. We cannot judge anybody at this moment in time for how they're emotionally reacting, how they're handling it, how they're not handling it, what support they need, what they don't need at any given moment in time, because we are all different. We always have been, we always will be, but really this is affecting all of us, each individual person, on a different level in different ways. And so being more flexible with regards to how you're communicating with people, and how you're listening to them and what their needs are, I think is really important as well.
Yes, for sure. And it's really it's important to be serving right now, and serving your clients in any manner possible, even if it is just to check on how people are doing. And like you say, listening and it always has been the most important skill. And it's something that we don't traditionally do well.
Right. Yeah.
People always listen with the intent to reply, and you need to listen just to listen,
Mm-hmm.
not no intention to reply, just to listen, because they need a space. People need a space to talk right now.
Yeah,
So serving
absolutely.
clients is definitely something, and that's what that's what everybody I think has done. We've seen a lot of people come out as a community, helping each other, serving each other, all kinds of webinars online.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a lot. If you wanted to, you could do so
Have a
much.
full-time job of
12
learning.
hours a you could, except that it
Yes.
doesn't necessarily get in. But I
No.
was kind of getting into that, signing up for a lot of things initially,
Mm-hmm.
because there was so much that looked good, but the fact is you can't do it all, because you need some time in
No.
between.
Yeah.
And so, but and of course everybody has, like you said, shifted over to online,
Mm-hmm.
where it was where they might not have been in that space before, whether it be a lot of coaches and people might have already been in the online space,
Mm-hmm.
but not 100%. Of course, now it's gone to 100%, but then you have the people with brick and mortar stores,
Mm-hmm.
and they've had to shift in some manner. I
Mm-hmm.
know some people with boutiques have come up with a website where they didn't
Mm-hmm.
have one before, but they always wanted to have a website.
Yes. I think again, looking for the silver lining in all of this, while the struggle to get a website happen as fast as possible is sometimes difficult, right? Because websites take time. But I've seen so many people transition rather quickly into the online
Yes.
space. And I think the message really is progress over perfection, right? Get something launched and you can tweak it as you go, but get in the online space in whatever manner you want to, or hope to be present in, tweak it as you go. And, like you said, many people have had that intention and now they were forced to to shift and to pivot into the online space. And so now whenever things brick and mortar stores get to open back up, whatever, and we go back to whatever we're going back to, that now you've got this other platform, another way to reach even more people. And so it can be seen as a blessing in disguise, even though the process can be rather stressful for people to tackle, for sure. And I've seen some really creative ways of people who are product based, especially finding ways to have these collaborative virtual events and all kinds of wonderful opportunities for people like yourself to sell their products, because the reality is, well, yes, there are unfortunately many people who don't have the same income that they were used to, so their spending habits are likely different right now. There are still people that have the same income. There are people that even have more income right now. And so there still is a need for products. There still is a need for this. And so finding that way to meet your clients in their need, to meet their needs, I think is important.
Right. And when you speak about collaborations, I think that's something that we're seeing a lot of.
Yes.
And I think going forward, we'll see a lot more of that as well, coming together, collaborating in any manner.
Absolutely.
Because like the online events, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the live events that were that have been postponed. Some have been postponed, and some carried
Mm-hmm.
on as an online only event.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so going forward, I would, with the online event, you can capture, it doesn't matter, geography doesn't matter
That's right.
anymore, and you
Yep.
can capture the whole global audience.
Mm-hmm.
So going forward, speaking to what you were talking about, they're going to have a space for doing online events
Mm-hmm.
in addition to the live event, whether it happens at the same time that it's live plus online, or you do
Right.
two separate ones,
We
whatever.
figure that out.
Yeah.
And to your point about, feeling a little bit of overwhelm with regards to how much is available to us in the online space right now, because I've felt it too, even though I live, eat, and breathe in the online world, and I have for many, many years. Whoa, like there's a lot going on, and I want to learn all the things because, you know, I love learning, and I want to support everybody that I possibly can. But yet, like you said, we're only one human being, and we do need that white space, that time to breathe. So my advice for that really is, and I actually talked about this in a live that I did on my page today with Tawny Stowe, really is to focus in on, like, take a moment to think about what you really want to know. Prioritize what is important to you right now, right? What are you looking to learn? Whether it's a personal thing or whether it's a business thing, what is it that you can tap into? And then prioritize and kind of walk through the online space with a few blinders on and think, okay, I'm going to intentionally say, because we had to learn how to say no a long time ago, right? And because we always have all kinds of invitations and opportunities.
Yeah.
So now it's putting it into practice, maybe in a different way. But if you set your own parameters and your own boundaries for what you're looking for what you want, you can then become very clear on what you're going to say yes to and what you're going to say no to.
Right. And I guess you are right. We had so many, I remember before having so many events coming at me that I could sign up for.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just that it's online.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all online coming at you, and it comes down to the same thing, being able to say no.
Yep.
And like I was just on another interview I just did previously, she was just speaking about, well, you may be pivoting your business because you were live before and you're going to online. Mm-hmm. Your goals don't change. You still have the same goals. You still have the same purpose for whatever business you are in. Mm-hmm. So you need to keep, like you say, keep focus, focus as to what you.
Well, and your focus may even pivot, right? Like your true intention and your true why is always at your core, right? But when you do shift into the online space, if it's not something you were used to doing before, you may be pivoting slightly as far as what your offering is, and depending on what your business is too. But yeah, putting one foot in front of the other, moving forward towards your goals, reevaluating your goals, I think is really important as well, and just making sure that the goals that you had set for yourself are still in line with what you're moving towards right now.
Right. Definitely that's another thing. Sure. That I was just thinking back to my goals, and one of my goals I set this year was to have my jewelry worn at TIFF.
Right.
Well, that's not happening. I don't think. I haven't heard a word about TIFF, but CNE was just canceled. So my guess is it wouldn't be going on.
Yeah. So, I mean, that might be something that you postpone that goal for 2021, you know, and you can still work towards it. Now you have more time to navigate what that looks like. And
yes, exactly. Yeah. And now my navigation, you know, a lot of my focus will be online more, obviously.
Yeah, and
because
exactly.
There's no live events. So
pivoting your focus.
And focusing on videos and things like that online. Mm-hmm. So and I think for the hair salons and the nail salons, I've seen a lot of interesting things as well with respect to, actually mine as well. She's mixing up some dye for me.
Oh, nice.
As well. So they, mixing up your color.
Yes.
So that you can at least do something temporarily. Like for me, I have 4 colors in my hair, so can't really do it myself, but I'm kind of doing a temporary fix unless I really want to get creative.
Yeah, but again, they're offering the same service, right? As far as they're taking care of your hair, but they're offering it in a different way to meet you where you're at, what your needs are right now.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Rather than, in this way, what you want to do is make sure to keep top of mind.
Yes.
And serve your clients. So because we know that when hair salons and nail salons can open and massage therapists, there's going to be demand. There's going to be everybody waiting. And when they do open, it's going to be at a much reduced number that will be allowed inside. So I was just speaking with my hairstylist, and she has been so busy just navigating all the rules and everything that have to be done, and all the cleaning that's going to
updating all of
done
their
on a
policies, procedures,
regular basis going forward. And we don't know for how long. A lot of this uncertainty is really just continuing. Like, we don't know. There's so much we don't know. So that's why really our focus is we've also, all the noise has been eliminated from outside, right? So we have the time to actually sit, like you were saying, and decide what is really important to you, whether it be personal or business related.
Yeah.
Maybe there was something you wanted to learn on a personal level, a new skill, or something you liked to do as a kid, or something, or something you've said, oh, if I had more time, I would do this.
And even reevaluating your priorities.
Yes.
Right. So maybe it was something that you had, oh, I have always wished I could X, Y, Z, whatever it is. Well, now is the time to decide, is it just a kind of, oh, I wish I could, or is it I really wish I could, I want to add this to my bucket list, this is really, really important. And reevaluating, I think we're having a chance to really reflect on life overall and what really is most important to us at the end of the day.
Yes,
So,
right.
yeah.
Exactly. This is definitely giving us a chance for that as well. And we're going to really appreciate some of the things that we might have taken for granted before, like having a coffee with a friend, in a coffee shop or something like that. So what it is looking forward, what is business going to look like as well? And I think this online space obviously is not going anywhere. Everybody's embraced this online video conferencing. Zoom meetings are, you could be
Who
on
knew
Zoom
the
all day
whole
if you
world
wanted
would
to.
know what Zoom was right before? No, only other business owners knew what Zoom was, and now everybody knows, right? The kids, schools, my family, everybody. Yeah. So.
Yes, it just exploded. So I think a lot of businesses will also realize how useful it is.
Yes. Well, how powerful the online space really is, right? How technology really can help us and support us to expand our networks, to enhance our connections. Yeah.
And not even just small businesses. I think even the large corporations are going to embrace some of this for some of their meetings where, meetings that might have been in person. Just think of you don't have to spend an hour going to whatever, an hour back, and working from home too. The other thing as well.
Yes.
It might be something looked at as well, because
it's maybe a bit more, people realize that it actually can happen, right? There was
and
fear
can work,
before.
and people do work, and
it's happening.
and it's happening at such a huge scale. If you think of all the office buildings down on Bay Street and downtown Toronto are all, everybody's at home. Call centers, everybody's at home.
Yeah.
So, and it was done. It's like anything, you can adapt.
Yes.
And this shows you, if anything, how much people can adapt quickly.
Absolutely. Oh yes, absolutely.
When you have to.
When you have to. Yep. For sure.
Yeah. So I think
lots of learnings.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I think that we'll see a lot more of this. I don't know what we're going to see in terms of live events, when we might see them again.
No.
But I think that, like I say, this has really expanded. I've heard some people talk about having people from all across the world joining some of their, some of the networking groups, or you can have the speaker. One of the networking groups has a speaker from Vancouver for an event, and it probably wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, these types of online events, learning opportunities, conferences, whatnot, they have been in existence for quite some time, but they haven't been used by as many people, just because I think the tech side of things was holding a lot of people back, like you alluded to. I know I spoke at a worldwide online it wasn't a conference. I forget now how they termed it, but it was similar to an online conference.
Yeah.
And this was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? Like, so people have been doing it, but now because we've now embraced even just this one-on-one, using Zoom, it's now become more of a comfort level. So even the people that are participating are more comfortable to sign up for something like that. Whereas before, if they hadn't used the technology, that might have held them back from participating.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
I never really thought of that as well, but yeah, definitely some people are, well, so many people. I mean, you have the grandparents using Zoom to see the grandchildren, and that was something otherwise they probably never would have used.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. I still haven't had my mom embrace Zoom yet. She's comfortable on FaceTime, so we still are getting face to face, so that's good. But I had hoped that she would be open to me teaching her how to use Zoom, because even for her, there's been opportunities through the Alzheimer's Society to learn through Zoom, right? And but it can be overwhelming for some people. So, and during times like this, when many people are overwhelmed with so many other things going on, to do a new thing, is a little extra overwhelming. So that's an example of, you have to meet people where they're at, right? And if they're just too overwhelmed with life in general, adding something new that potentially stresses them out is not the best thing to do.
Right.
So
yeah, for sure.
But when I can get in person with my mom, I'm going to walk her through how to use Zoom when we're sitting side by side on the couch, so that if there's ever a time where she needs to use it, she'll know how.
Right. Yeah. That's for sure. That's
So can I share this is my mantra. You do you.
Nice.
And that really has been, so whether it's, when I'm talking to my mom and she says, I've been invited to this online meeting or whatever, but I just can't, I feel too overwhelmed. You do you. When I talk to a business owner and, they're feeling pressure to do certain things, to tweak their business in certain ways, and it's not resonating with them, my answer is you do you. We all have to tap into what's best for ourselves and really get to know yourself and what your needs are, so that you can be the most successful, and feel the most supported in ways that you need right now, in order to keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, that's great. That's great advice for sure, and definitely something that we need to remember right now, like you say, because and it's all baby steps as well.
Oh,
baby
absolutely.
Steps will get us through.
Absolutely, especially when you don't know which direction you're going in. Right? So there's one foot in front of the other. Just keep moving forward, and progress over perfection.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Amanda. I think that's
you.
a good way to end this.
Okay.
So thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to when we can see each other in person again.
Yes,
whenever
me too.
we start having Fem City events in person again.
Yes.
Whatever that is going to be. In the meantime, we still have I'm really grateful for this technology that we do have, because as we say, it's been great for businesses, but it's also what has probably saved a lot of grandparents and not being able to connect, not to be able to see your family in person.
That's right.
I'm sure it's, and also for people who are alone.
Yes.
Who live alone as well.
Yes.
So that they can, it's the next best thing to being in person.
Yeah.
So you need to still have that connection.
Still a form of connection, for sure. Yeah, nothing beats in person. Even Digital Girl says that, right? I always have. Nothing beats that in-person energy, that in-person face-to-face connection. However, this is the next best thing.
Yes, right, it is. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I will put your information underneath this interview when I put it up online, and so that people know where to find you.
Wonderful.
And I guess, like I say, we just keep going one foot in front of the other and look forward to when we can be in person.
You got it.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You.
Okay.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.